had a decent motorsport break. We're hoping all of you guys have had a wonderful break as well. Tonight, we're straight back into things with a bit of commentary, something new. We're working with the Racing Pals. These guys have developed a new car based on a skip barber but with better downforce. It's called the Formula Pals, funnily enough. So yeah, we're going to be doing some commentary for them at the moment. They're currently in a practice session 10 minutes ago, so I thought I'd give you a brief introduction of what's happening today. And yeah, from there we're going to see how we do with everything. As always, first things first, let's give some recognition where it's due. Reebokka has subbed for another month. Crazy girl, I know, thank you so much. Hoove 1185, Dat Husky, Train Boy 2005, Hoss 00312, thank you for your follows, very much appreciated. And I'm looking forward to some feedback from you, see what you think you like about this this whole gig, see what you think could do with improving. You might notice there are a few different graphics today, because it's a commentary gig. I want to give the best experience I can, so we're gonna give you some things. But right now, shall we just get into the practice and then we'll talk about things as we go. So, let us hit the right button and you'll see 7 o'clock UTC, 8 o'clock British summertime. We are racing at Portimao for race 1 out of 6. They are quite long races, but we will see as we go around the circuit. We are currently on board with Lecherous Sloth. I don't know everybody's real names. There are a few people using gamer tags, so that is something I'm going to have to get used to at some point or another. Here we are, deep cuts just in behind another driver there. You will see that we are using custom liveries on this server. And again, we're at Portimao. It's a wonderful, wonderful track. I will throw up a track map for you right now so you can see the circuit. There are a few corners. Maybe I will make that a little bit bigger so you can see the names of the corners. Because, like, if you're like me, I don't know the names of the circuit off by heart. So, Primera, the first turn, is going to cause the most drama. It's a tight right-hander followed by a tight left-hander. If there's going to be a dive, that is where it's going to be. Thank you very much, Cheva88. Thanks for joining us. I will turn the game down a little bit. Just bear with me a moment and I will get that done. So yeah, other than that, you've got the run into Lagos. Another tight corner. That's something that could cause a few dramas following the first left and right. How's that? I've turned the game down just a bit. Away from there you go down to Torre VIP, a longer corner than it looks on the track map. That does lead down towards Samsung, again another opportunity on the brakes there. And then we have, of course, Craig Jones followed by Portimao, and we have Sagres followed by Galp. And Sagres and Galp are going to be two corners where these drivers are going to set up for the best overtaking opportunity into Primera that they can get. So, we have a few drivers going around in a bit of a train. It does look like they are teammates, trying to give each other a bit of a tow down the main straight, down the faster sections of circuit. And of course, Deep Cuts sat in 4th. We have Automated Luxury in 3rd. And Suicidal Cookie is on an outlap in 2nd, but can the teammates do much to upset the top 2 at the moment? It is a bit of a gap. Now you've got 2 minute lap, well, 2 minutes and 7 tenths, 2 minutes and 8 tenths, and then 2 minutes 1 and 1 tenth. So that is a little bit of a gap. We might see the front runners disappear down the road. But there is action a little bit further back. We've got 2 minutes 3 seconds from some of the guys who are not on circuit in the pits there. They may be happy with their times. But yeah, there's not a lot happening on circuit. Again, with it being the final moments of practice, I would expect that a lot of these guys are just setting up for the best mental race that they can get. Of course, racing Formula cars around Grand Prix circuits like this, it is very mentally challenging. So you really want to be in a good position mentally to attack, keep yourself safe, as we're seeing someone very deep off the circuit there. And again, these drivers will be training the mind, trying to keep the best place they can. And of course, you know, there's a few of them out on circuit right now thinking, okay, well, I still need to improve. Where is the time? And I think that's what we're seeing at the moment. So with 4.5 minutes left to go of practice, we will then get into qualifying. And from there, the one and only race that we have. As we're seeing a few personal bests being set on circuit now. That isn't out of the ordinary. A lot of these people will have been doing practice on other servers. The server did reset before we came into the session. So of course, that does mean that all of the times would have been reset from the start. So, onto the stream itself. You guys know that we're going to be covering this in its entirety, but we're also keen to hear from you guys. We're keen to get into a conversation with you, so if you've got anything to say, any points that you want to clarify, anything that you want to see, just drop a message into the chat box and we will respond. Of course, it's always good to have you cheering on for your favourite drivers, and as it is a completely new series for a community I've not worked with before, I'll be very interested to hear who we've got with us today and who you're all rooting for. Get them posted in the chat. We'll give some shout outs as we can. So, 3 minutes left on the clock. Not much happening at the front. We're seeing a few people coming out of the pits right now as we're on board with the pole sitter. And of course the info has disappeared, so I don't have a name on screen, probably because we're on an outlap at the moment. We haven't crossed the first intersection, so let's get rid of that track map and let you enjoy the action. And this is something I'm going to enjoy very much as well. The Motorsport break is very, very long, and because I do get involved in the Motorsport season, I do tend to take a sim racing break through August as well. So for me, I am returning after a month away, and before we took the break, it was the end of a season I was competing in. It was quite a stressful season, so I was very much looking forward to the break, but it does feel like a lifetime since I've been involved in sim racing. I'm very, very glad to be back, very glad to have you all on board. I'm very glad to be commentating because it is still quite warm for the British summer, which it's a bit odd, I know, it's granted. But yeah, we are back. So the weird seam on the right hand side of the screen, is that because you're seeing an extra box that shouldn't really be shown? I believe it is. So I've just shifted that. That should be a little bit better. There we go. So again, that box you might have seen is the text box where I can see all of your messages. Thank you, Dat Husky, for pointing that out. So who's your money on, people? I've been told that the reigning championship of the Skip Barbers is not with us tonight. So that does give a lot of other people the opportunity to go faster, push hard and do more damage. You're rooting for yourself. Well, Husky, I do wish you the best. I know that you're normally on the microphone like I am right now, but we're very keen to see your pace. I know that there's a few people out there that have been wanting to see your race. It's great to have you in the cockpit, and I do wish you the best. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting night, as I'm going to have to learn where all of these cameras are. This is a circuit that I haven't raced. I'm guessing a lot of these drivers haven't raced, because Portugal isn't one of the places where you spend a lot of time racing. Portimao is in the Algarve as well. So quite a remote circuit, but it is a very nice circuit. As mentioned, it is a Grand Prix circuit. I don't think they've done many Grand Prix events in recent years. but they will be very keen to have the bikes back shortly, as well as potentially a Formula 1 race at some point in the near future. So we're not seeing massive improvements on time. Sloth is looking to improve, but the practice session is over. 23 seconds off on his first split. I was hoping that may have been a glitch, but obviously not. He's just going around circulating to get some feel for the wheel before he gets into the qualifying session. And then further down, Automated Luxury is also on a lap. Does have traffic ahead. As mentioned, he is circulating with teammates. But that could be a chance to get a bit of a tow. Down the back straight as they come around this very fast right-hand turn. Tyres on the limit as we head down to the start-finish straight now. Past the pit entry line. And he's going to see the start-finish straight come up, and he's looking at a good time. 1:59, 2 minutes. Doesn't quite, I don't think. The clock is still running on, so maybe he cut the circuit somewhere and that lap's been disallowed. But that's it, that's practice. That's done, so everything now should be finishing, and we're seeing a few people come over the line. That's definitely not a lap. And we have yellows down at the first section, and one guy going for a very, very dizzy spin. Let's hope it doesn't make him as dizzy as he was about to make me. So, there you have it. Practice is over with. Let's flip back to the challenge screen. So, what do you make of that? What do you make of that? So we know Dak Husky's here rooting for himself. Gemma 88 is here. What do you think's going to happen? Sloth does have a bit of an advantage. There is no doubt about that. But then there are a few other drivers that could challenge. And if they do get into a scrap, well, I'm sorry, but ain't nobody getting away. I'm hoping there is a scrap. It would be really nice to see these guys going wheel to wheel, having a bit of a tussle. Well, there you go. There's your confirmation on screen. Sloth fastest. Suicidal Cookie in second. Automated Luxury in third, followed by Deep Cuts, M1 LDT, Subnai or Ian Arnold, Jake Potak, Jort, and then our Husky, which is Ross, and Trev Hummer rounding out the top 10. Yeah, very interesting top 10. Quite a large split once you get beyond the top 3. In fact, to be fair, from third down to 7th, it's very tight indeed. Very tight indeed, so that's probably where the majority of battle's going to be. But the question is whether Suicidal Cookie can get in front of Sloth and cause them to slow down a bit, because that'll back them right up into the rest of the field. That would be really nice to see. Meanwhile, you can see that the race itself is a 45-minute race. Now, let's not joke. Long races, more than half an hour, throw up a lot of curveballs. A lot. You're managing tyres, you're managing fuel. You've got to think about heat soak, because brakes get hot, engines get hot. When engines are hot, less power. When brakes are hot, less slowing. There may be mistakes. There may be some real battles. It's anyone's guess as to how this is going to go down, but with 20 minutes to qualify, that's a long qualifying session, and that can get into your head. So, let's see what happens. I'm not expecting anybody to do anything silly, although it is the first race of the season, and if anything silly is going to happen, that's probably when it's going to be. But we have just jumped into the qualifying session, so let's get the correct scene going, and we will hop into the car, and hopefully we'll be able to flick to the driver. So that's Jake Patak. See if we can see who's on circuit right now. I don't think there are going to be many people in the pits, as I'm just flicking through trying to find someone up near the front. Right, I don't think we've got any of the front runners out at the moment, so we're going to follow with Husky. Just go round this outlap and see where Husky is, confidence-wise. Because you'll really see it on the outlap. If somebody's really getting heat into their tyres, you know instantly that they're confident in what the car can do, and they really want to push. If someone's going a bit more ginger, as we're seeing there, car going very slow into the hairpin, then they might be sort of going for 2 or 3 laps, getting out of the way, trying to make sure that they've got the cleanest opportunity possible. Not quite as attacking as a lot of other drivers will be. And I'm just wondering if we've got any other camera angles. So we've got a good gaggle of cars here. Now this could cause problems if these guys can't get themselves into clean air. Then they are going to be backing each other up. L1 LDT has given himself some space. Might want a bit more than that, however. Chris O'Connor's still on an outlap. Trainboy still on an outlap. And Kerstetter also on an outlap. But there is a bit of cars there. There's definitely a chance for one of the guys to get obstructed, which you don't want. You want a clean lap if you can help it. And then of course Husky is down there roundabouts. Again, a lot of these guys are on similar pace, so with them being on similar pace, you would hope that they're not going to hold each other up, but they're just going to try and catch the turn when it's important. But we don't know if that is going to be the case just yet. So I'll say it again, thank you all for joining us. We are now into the qualifying session and we are having drivers set their first attempt at their qualifying lap. As Husky comes around to turn 1. Portimao, thank you very much for the follow there, Luna One Stitch. Thank you very much, I do appreciate it. As we're seeing these cars, they might be holding each other up, you know. I don't know for sure. I've not driven one of these cars. This car has been custom made for this championship to suit this type of online racing. So I've not yet had the pleasure of driving it. And I'm hoping that between now and the next race I'll get a little bit of time to figure out what this car's all about. But following this closely cannot be the best thing in the world unless there is a monumental slipstream down towards that final corner. Here we go then. 16 minutes on the clock. We should see in the next 15 seconds or so, we should see times start to light up the timing board so we can see who is where at this point in qualifying. But with a long qualifying session, the faster guys may leave it until a little bit later. Let the track rubber in, give yourself more chance of being on optimum grip. Because this is another thing about these circuits. Sim racing's evolved a lot over the last 20 years, and even on Assetto Corsa you're still seeing tracks evolve, where they're immensely fast at the end of the session, not quite as much at the early point. However, there are a few personal bests being set right now, which is good for those drivers ahead. I'm not yet seeing a timing board. We should see that pop up any moment. As we see times on the board right now. So here we go then. So, currently up front is Jack Potak, sorry, I'm going to keep messing that up. I will mess these names up quite a lot at this point, but Trev Hummer was provisionally second, and now it's Deep Cuts. We did see earlier on Deep Cuts in that train with his teammates doing the same tactic again. Now this will mean that of course they've had practice following each other. I've seen a car off circuit just there, maybe got the braking point a little bit wrong. Very easy to do. However, we're not seeing a 2-minute flat just yet. That is still to come. And we're seeing Deep Cuts' teammate, Automated Luxury, being up front at the moment. That's a big gap in time to say that they are following each other around. So Automated Luxury definitely has the opportunity to improve this time around. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for improvements. His automated luxury just goes very wide there to let his teammate through. Of course, that will be a disallowed lap from automated luxury. We're now going to see deep cuts coming through the middle of the circuit. I will once again just quickly show you the track map so that you can see where all of these corners are. The middle section, as you're looking at now, is quite open, long, very long corners, as opposed to the first sector where it's all very tight corners. So deep cuts, 1 minute 30 into this lap right now, which means he's got 30 seconds to do all that he can to move himself up the order. M1LD has pushed himself into second place with 2:01.555. Can deep cuts beat that time? This is coming around now, the final corner. There's another car in the gravel there returning to the pits. Deep cuts isn't worried about that, he's worried about that start-finish line. He's coming up to that. We're looking at 157, 158, 159. What will it be? And we're waiting for confirmation. No improvement, unfortunately. However, Sloth has been the first person to go under 2 minutes and 1 second. Posting 2 minutes and 8 tenths on the clock now. He does have another driver following him very closely. Is that automated luxury? It is indeed. It is indeed. If you can't beat them, join them. And I'm sure automated luxury is trying to find every little bit of time that Sloth has taken from the other victims. He'll be trying to make up that time, put himself as far up the starting order as possible. Chewy says, I'll be racing in this season, but I had to skip tonight's race. But judging by the test race we did with the car, is great fun. I can believe that, I really can. And we hope to see you in the car soon, Chewy88. Thank you for joining the stream for now, though. It's great to have so many people viewing at the moment. And again, I know that these will be watched back after the stream has ended as well. We plan to get this streamed event over to the Racing Pals admin team so they can get it onto their YouTube channel as well. It will be on the AJR Motorsport YouTube channel, but it will be on the Racing Pals YouTube channel first as an exclusive. But you guys have got this live right now. You've got the pleasure of being here with us in real time as the drama unfolds. And speaking of drama, we're seeing another personal best by M1LDT, and that is almost, ever so almost under the 2 minute mark. Now automated luxury is showing 3 minutes 50 almost on the clock, so that might have been an outlap just following Sloth to see where he can gain time. He has been dropped, but Sloth is now coming up to the line. And we're watching those seconds tick away. 2 minutes and 8 tenths to beat. This could be it. Yeah, it does. Wow. Wow. 2 minutes and 1 tenth. Beating his previous time by 7 tenths. That is a monumental improvement. And then you have Suicidal Cookie being the second person to break the 2 minutes and 1 second barrier. But only just, and he's slower on that first sector there. 20 minutes for 22 seconds 4:04. I do apologise. So Suicidal Cookie knows he's got time in the bank. Obviously he was second fastest in the practice session. And of course Automated Luxury did set a time, so the clock was lying to us. 2 minutes 1 and 0 tenths. Almost 1 tenth, but not quite. So obviously finding the best out of following the fastest person on track at this moment in time. A little further down, M1LDT all on his own, but still putting in a rather good show. He's a little way behind Suicidal Cookie, so I wonder whether he's just been following, seeing where Suicidal Cookie is braking, where he's turning in, and trying to take as much out as possible. That's a lot of understeer, however, from M1LDT. Sometimes understeer can be fast, but he was miles away from the apex, so that may have cost him a little bit of time there. New personal best on your screen from Sench. I don't know what Sench's real name is either, unfortunately, but these are things we can learn along the way. So Sench splits Lecturer Sloth and Suicidal Cookie. And goes around for another attempt, coming up to first sector, and he's going faster. So a green sector would indicate that that is that driver's personal best. However, Lecturer Sloth has gone faster. To have gone faster than Lecturer Sloth, the timing indicator would have been in purple. So Sench does have a chance to improve, but he's got time to find against Lecturer Sloth if he wants first place. Now, 8 minutes and about 40 odd seconds remaining. We're seeing some more personal bests on your screen as Sench just gets it wrong, kicks the back end out, and that will be an abandoned lap. Meanwhile, Suicidal Cookie does not have a time on screen, so I don't know whether he's on a lap. Lecturer Sloth does, however. Let's have a look at this and let's listen in all its glory. If there's any chance the game volume can be lowered a little bit, I can certainly lower that a little bit more. Again, getting levels right is very difficult sometimes. I can turn up the microphone as well if that would help. And again, levels are one of these things. I've not used these cars before, so it will be one of those things where I do have to adjust it a little bit every now and then. So there we go. So if that's better, just let me know. Go Spectre Racing. So Jacob the Snake 2 definitely cheering on one of the teams, Spectre Racing. We are going to see some things indeed. We've had a few changes. Pierre Moreno has put himself in second place now, very close to Lecturer Sloth there. So here we go. The heavy hitters are showing themselves. And thank you very much for the follow, Jacob the Snake. We are appreciating all of the support from all of you right now. Again, being the first event back since the Motorsport break. I do tend to take a break in the off season as well. I do encourage my drivers to as well, so it has been fairly quiet over August and we're great to be back with all of you. So we have support for Spectre Racing. Who else do we have support from? Thank you for the follow, Chebba88. We're just watching now as I think a lot of drivers are on outlaps. It's the last 6 minutes, so you are really going to see everybody move now. Everybody's going to be really pushing. They've all had enough time to get to grips with the car. Lecturer Sloth is not going for that lap. But Pierre Moreno now comes up towards the start-finish line. Watch those seconds on your screen. Let us see if this is an improvement. I don't know whether this is going to be a lap. It's a second down, unfortunately. And Jake Potak has put himself in third place. Just look at the split. It's a lot closer than we saw in the practice session. So Ed Kerstetter now sets a personal best as well. We have Suicidal Cookie coming up towards the line. I don't know whether he's on an outlap or whether this is a timed lap. There is no information to tell me. But here we go. It does look like it's an outlap and Suicidal Cookie starts. One more lap. He might get a second lap on these tyres if he can get around in time. Lecturer Sloth is also on an outlap, so he may just get one lap in. A few people in the pits. Jack Potak is coming around to start another lap right now. We have Automated Luxury. Again, we did see him following very closely to Lecturer Sloth, trying to find where the time was, where he needed to gain. I believe that's Deep Cutscene right behind as well, following his teammate. As we do see a gaggle of cars here. There may be benefit from the tow, there may not be any benefit. When you're following another driver trying not to make any mistakes, it is very difficult keeping an eye on them and on your marks as well. But we will see how the drivers manage it. M1 LDT a little further back as well, very high up at the early part of qualifying. And we have Dat Husky in the pits at the moment, rounding out the top 10 with Trev Hummer out there. Just pipped Dat Husky only slightly by just over a tenth to take that top 10 position away. Now who is on a lap? Jake Potak now. Sitting in third, he's a a couple of hundredths, just under, away from that second place. But then just over 2.5 tenths away from first. So if Jake Potak can really do something here, car sliding a little bit out of that hairpin turn, just struggling to get all of the power down to the road in one go. But I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He knows how to balance the car on the throttle, how to get it pointing where he needs it to, how to get the power down. It may have been the capitals, Jake the Snake. You've got to be careful with that. If you're trying to post a lot of capitals, the algorithm does kick up a bit of a fuss there. And again, messages, you do have to vary them every now and again. But yeah, we can definitely see that we've got support for Spectre Racing. Nobody else has come on to support the other teams at the moment. We know that Husky is on the stream supporting himself, of course. But I'm wondering who else is about, who else we're supporting. And Jake Potak now coming up to the line. This does look like a pretty handy lap. I'm not going to lie, so I'm watching these seconds in anticipation. 2 minutes 1/10 is the time to beat right now. What is this lap going to be? I don't think it's enough. It's 8 tenths off the pace. But he does have another chance to start again if there's no contact, which there isn't. And that was very, very lucky because it did look like teammates there. Who is on a lap? Letra Sloth is on a lap. We have Pierre Moreno about to start a lap. Sench is not bothering. Suicidal Cookie will be up to the start line before Letra Sloth. And M1 LDT is behind. So 2 minutes 31. I wouldn't expect many more people to have time to get out of the pits and onto a flying lap right now. Maybe if you leave the pits this second, you've got a chance. Only a very small chance. But you've got to go now. So Sench doesn't look like he's going to make the cut. Husky doesn't look like he's going to make the cut. Right at the very back of the field, we have RD Gamer, probably not going to make the cut, and TRA, I'm not sure who that is. But right now, Letra Sloth is in the final sector. Suicidal Cookie is in the final sector. What are these going to do? Jake Potak returns to the pits, so he will not set another lap. Final 2 minutes now. Deep Cut sets a personal best, but it's only good enough for 8th. Suicidal Cookie comes across the line slower, ever so slightly. Letra Sloth is slower on this lap, but they do have another chance. One last chance for glory to secure the pole position for the inaugural race of the Formula Pals Racing with Racing Pals, as Letra Sloth decides, I don't have enough fuel for this lap, I'm going to settle with my time. Pierre Moreno is on a lap. The only person in the top 3 to be on a lap looking to steal this pole position. Can he get the car around? Can he find those 2 tenths he so desperately needs to take the glory? Here we go then, start finish straight. Looking at that gantry, burying his head in the cockpit. Here we go now, 157, 158, 159. What is the time going to be? I don't think it's good enough. It's 8 tenths off, so it does not improve. Now, Suicidal Cookie. New personal best from Trevelman. Doesn't improve, but does go faster. Here we go then, Suicidal Cookie is 2 seconds back, so don't think he's going to improve on this lap. M1 LDT is on a lap. I'm not sure what the timing is saying, but it's saying it's 2 minutes 45 back. We've seen that before. It might be a bit of a mistake. We're watching around. The final sector is coming up now. We have Automated Luxury also on a lap coming up to the start-finish line. Ed Kerster had just set a personal best and pushed himself up into 5th place. Automated Luxury has a chance to improve here, trying to get across the line as fast as possible. No improvement, so stays in 7th place. Suicidal Cookie now is looking at the start-finish line. This does not look like an improvement. And 2 minutes goes by, 2 minutes won't go by. That's a slow lap indeed. And I believe the only person left on the grid is Yacht. Although we do have Rye Guy Gaming and Aaron Fieldek out there at the moment circulating, but I don't think they're on laps that will go for a race. Pierre Moreno seems to be on a lap. He seems to have been able to have that second chance. So Aaron Fiedelac, I do apologise, I will get these pronunciations right if you prompt me. Yeah, that's an improvement up into 17th place. Again, there are a few areas where the racing is very close. First down to 9th place is a bit of a spread over a second, but that can easily be one tight pack if there is racing up front. And then from sort of 12th down to 16th, again another pack in waiting. So Pierre Moreno does not improve. Kerstetter is on a lap, being held up by the look of it, so that might not be an improvement. And Ryguy Gaming also on a lap there, but that doesn't look like it's going to improve at all. So we'll see where these guys all line up, and we will get confirmation for you to see where your favourite drivers are as Kerstetter just pulls off into the pits. He knows he's not improving. Ryguy Gaming has a 2 minutes 3:497 to be. I'm not sure what this will be. The time is probably wrong, and he doesn't go any faster. Just a few tenths slower than his best, but 3 seconds off the pace. That might not deter him. That might not deter him. Again, it's a very, very difficult circuit, and anything can happen. Those guys sitting in 18th, 19th and 20th, they've still got a lot to race for. They could find themselves in a top 10 position very easily over 45 minutes. It's a very long race. So there we have then, on your screen, confirmation, Letra Sloth starting from pole position with Pierre in 2nd position, Jake Potak in 3rd position, Sench in 4th, Ed Kerstetter in 5th place, Suicidal Cookie in 6th place, Automated Luxury in 7th with M1 LDT in 8th place, Deep Cuts in 9th place, and Subnai rounding out top 10 in 10th place, just knocking down Trev Hummer and Husky, who you saw a little earlier. So, Twitch, chat, what are your thoughts? We know that we've got Jake of the Snake 2, a lot of support for Spectre Racing here. Who else are we supporting? Who else are you all supporting? Who are you cheering on? Who's your favourite driver? I want to hear about it. Just get involved, get in the chat, and we will keep you up to date on how everybody is doing. But right now it does look like Letra Sloth may indeed run away with this. I am sure that the drivers will of course be doing all they can to make sure Letra Sloth doesn't take the first victory. But yeah, here we go then. So we do have a 45-minute race up and coming. We have about 15 seconds to go before the server switches over to the next event. I don't know how long the waiting period will be once we get into that session. So we're on the grid now. We've got 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes before these guys go live. I want to hear from you. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you want to see. And I'll see if I can quickly grab Letra Sloth for a quick chat if we've got time. I want to make sure I'm in the right place. Yeah, that's it. So let's see if we can get him in. We have a minute to go. A minute to go before we're available. So, Penguino says who? 1185. Number 1. Penguins says York. Spartan Golf timed out. Too many caps. Please, guys. Bad quality from Train Boy 2005. It happens. Chin up. There is a long race to go. I keep saying 45 minutes is a very long time. Anything can happen. Anything will happen. These are Formula cars. It's a long race. I'm just hoping that we can get Letra Sloth in for a quick chat. 30 seconds, so it doesn't look likely now. It doesn't look likely, so what we will do is we'll head over and watch the start of this grid. And I will shift that car and we will watch from the pole position. Letra Sloth sees all the lights on the gantry for the first event. And here we go, 45 minutes on the clock. DuPont for Chevy 88. Let's see where DuPont ends up. Both your drivers are standings. It could still end up with a lot of team points here. First corner, no dramas. Letra Sloth is wide, he's going around. That is not what he wanted. So, up into the lead is Jack Portak. And a lot of places, Letra Sloth is all the way down into 20th now. Right at the back. So, Kirstetter makes up a good few positions there. As we're coming around the first part of the circuit, no contact from the top 10 there, which is glorious to see. We are coming down now to the technical end of the first sector. Again, just going wide there, trying to give each other room. There's a bit of a spin at the back there. Just a few drivers trying to avoid each other. Ian Arnold just getting it wrong. And that causes Trev Hummer to fall down the order as well. A little further up then, we have Kirstetter. We have another spinner, Sench. Sench has gone across the middle of the track there. And Suicidal Cookie now retakes second place as Sench falls through the field. 7th place now. Doesn't look like he'll lose that as he's back up to speed, but up at the front. Anything can happen in these long races. I did say it, and it's all kicking off on this first lap. So we have contact, unfortunately, on the first lap. So Cookie is falling down the order. There's a few people involved there. M1LDT is involved, as well as Deep Cuts and unfortunately Transbaconist, all involved and all heading to the back of the field. And there's more contact. Yord just taps the inside of someone and sends himself around. That allows a few more people to promote themselves. But up front, we have Jake Portak running away with this. 5 seconds adrift from Ed Kirstetter now, who has one of the other drivers, Chris O'Connor, who we've not seen much of this far. Chris O'Connor now up into 3rd place, putting the pressure on Ed Kirstetter with Pierre Moreno right in behind in 4th place. Look at this gaggle of cars a little bit further back with Sench, Automated Luxury and M1LDT. Just adrift of the real battle between Rob Phillips. We have Ian Arnold and we have Trev Hummer, and Husky going all the way up the inside there, making that move stick, and he takes another position. There's another one to make there along the inside of Automated Luxury, and he makes that look easy. Wow. Move 185. Yes, not like this. It is the first race of the season though. We do see it all go wrong often, but there is a lot of time to make it all back. Fingers crossed everything goes well for everybody from here out. We don't want to see any more incidents. We want to see clean overtakes, and we see a little bit of wheel banging, and we are going to see some moves here in the near future as we're watching a few guys having a bit of an argument over this 10th position. 3 wide now as we come down to the final right-hander, and the guy in the middle quite rightly just gets out of the way. He says, right, okay, I'm not going to make that. I don't want incidents. Let's just get on with it. It just goes around. So Letra Sloth around again. Making gains, Kurt and Gam. Yes, Ed Kirstetter in 2nd place now. And of course, RD Gamer up there in 13th place. We're seeing Husky overtaken, lost another place. Now, there are drivers everywhere making moves. But we are seeing Ian Arnold, teammate of Letra Sloth, making up some places. Letra Sloth has made his way up into 11th place already. One to watch as he comes through the field. You did see him on pole position. He will be putting in the time, trying to get his way up there. Husky now trying to fend off Ian Arnold, who is down the inside. This is the final turn, a long straight to come. So that Husky will be wanting to get into that slipstream. and get everything right for Portimao. This first corner coming up. So, Jake Potak has set the fastest lap on a 2:02. That is falling. Sench now has the fastest lap. That is going to keep falling as these guys traverse this race. And we're seeing now move down the inside from Husky, getting down the inside of Ian Arnold, and along with him, oh dear, there's a car off circuit there. That is not what we wanted. That caught me off guard a little bit, but Automated Luxury makes up a position as well. And Ian Arnold is not having any of it. Letrosloth has been off again. He's been sent around at the first corner by the look of it, and he's in a bit of a fight now. Not where he wanted to be. Chris O'Connor now fighting for his life with Moreno. Moreno has just got ahead. So third place changes once again. O'Connor now has M1 LDT right behind. This could be scary if you're out of position and you're thinking, right, I don't really have the pace. What do I do to stay on? Question for you guys, what would you do? Do you try and fight for that position, or do you just let them go and try and tuck in? Me, I try and tuck in every time, learn what I can, go faster. But right now, Moreno isn't getting away from Chris O'Connor, and M1 LDT isn't really getting down the side. So Chris O'Connor really stepping up now to these front lads. Definitely racing to the challenge of this fourth place. The gap to second is falling. It's dropped by half a second as Ed Kerstetter is really taking the fight to Jake Potak right now. Moreno is in with Chris O'Connor and M1 LDT. Husky is in with Automated Luxury and of course Ian Arnold. These guys will be wanting to try and get closer to the sharp end of the field, no doubt about it, but Yard is catching up to the back of them as they've been tussling, so that could be a 4-car battle in just a bit, and if that happens, there's no doubt that Rob Phillips is getting in there as well. This could be all to play for as Lecherous Sloth has just overtaken Sench, two very quick drivers. They'll be making their way up to the sharp end of the grid, no doubt about it. So this battle shaping up right here for 6th place. This is going to get very dicey very soon. As we're watching, things have settled down a little bit for this 3rd place right now, but that doesn't mean to say that they're not just helping each other catch the front of the field before going at it once more. However, all the action seems to be here right now, although we do have an overtake. Transbaconist is with Gamer, and there is Trev Hummer and Suicidal Cookie in there as well. We did see Suicidal Cookie going quite quick, as we're seeing a 4-car pack just being slowed down a little by a driver just behind it. There's contact. There is contact, and that drops 2 of them out. So Trainboy 2005 and Ryo Gaming have been involved in that, unfortunately, and that allows Suicidal Cookie and Trev Hummer to just walk away. Transbaconist has a bit of a gap there now. So looking back up for the battles again, we have an overtake here. M1 LDT has overtaken Pierre Moreno. Now, Chris O'Connor has not dropped any time at all, so that would suggest a mistake from Pierre. Something that is so easy to do in Formula cars like this. However, we're not seeing Automated Luxury catch up because they're having a squabble all of their own. Automated Luxury wants to get past Husky as fast as possible because Ian Arnold is sat back looking at this battle thinking, I want to be through. From his position, he has the best seat in the house for this battle that's unfolding, but Automated Luxury has to defend and attack all at the same time, and Yort is catching right back on to this little train, and this is all going to result in fireworks in the next few laps. Speaking of fireworks, we have Chris O'Connor defending from M1 LDT right now. M1 LDT 4/10 faster on that lap around. Moreno, yeah, definitely set a slow lap there, so that was clearly a mistake. However, he is back ahead, or was back ahead. There we go. So this battle, not quite what Chris O'Connor wanted there. He's just lost that 3rd place to M1 LDT, but he is hanging on. Look at this. Pierre Moreno is on the inside now, coming down 3 wide. 3 wide. M1 LDT makes the move on the brakes, to get ahead. Chris O'Connor has had a great exit of that corner. This is shaping up to be quite the show after all. Chris O'Connor now has the inside. And M1 LDT is ahead as there's contact, and that sends Chris O'Connor around. Fortunately, Pierre Moreno gets away with that and can now get chasing M1 LDT for positions. Chris O'Connor didn't quite get moving fast enough. That's loud automated luxury up ahead. Of course, the battle that we were following a little earlier has split quite a bit. Letrosloth is now up into 7th place. I said he was coming. Rob Phillips in 8th place, followed by Sench, who really wants to be through. Ian Arnold in 10th, so something has kicked off that we've missed. I do apologise, but there's plenty of other things happening a little further up. So, this battle, what is going to happen here? Is Sench going to make a move? Or is he going to wait for the right opportunity? Because don't forget, Letrosloth was on pole. He wants to be up there again. And Sench wants to be right up there with him. As well as that suicidal cookie does as well, but he's down in 14th having a bit of a battle. Yort is down in 13th, so something has gone wrong. In that battle, when we looked away, it all kicked off. As we're seeing everybody coming around to start the next lap. We've done 5 laps. We've got 35 minutes to go. These guys will be settling in for the long haul as we're looking for a move here down the inside from Sench. And that looks easy. It wasn't, I guarantee you it wasn't. But Sench made that look easy. He's just covering the inside there, making sure that he can hold on to that. And now Letrosloth is only 1 car ahead. Sench has just gone around there, his contact. That is unfortunate. Sench had made great progress all the way, but now that puts Husky back up into 9th place. Meanwhile, Chris O'Connor, after having an amazing battle for 3rd place, is now fighting for 6th. And with Letrosloth right behind, it will be the fight of his life. As we're watching a little further up, I'm keeping an eye on the gap between Pierre Moreno and M1 LDT. It is a couple of tenths. That is all that separates them. Meanwhile, Letrosloth is trying to get back up to the sharp end. And we're watching the fight with Chris O'Connor. They are bumper to bumper if these cars had bumpers. And Letrosloth will find a position somewhere to send it down the inside, and we really want to see that move. Action further behind as Yort has got ahead. Cookie has got ahead. We're seeing one of the drivers, Rob Phillips, dropping a little bit further back right now. Ian Arnold has just got past Husky, so the teammates dragging themselves up the order as we're watching Letrosloth going down the inside. Has he got this move? He's on the outside for the right-hander. Not where you want to be. You want to be down the inside, absolutely. But that does put a lot of pressure on Chris O'Connor to get the best drive out of the corner, as Letrosloth just unwinds the car effortlessly, heads down to the final corner in the slipstream. This means that Chris O'Connor has to go full defensive. Cannot give the inside to Letrosloth, but it looks like he's going to allow this. He doesn't want to fall any further down the grid. When Letrosloth is down the inside, can he get it done on the brakes without outbraking himself? Something that's so easily done, and if he can keep it on circuit, that will be a position held. Chris O'Connor, however, carried a lot of speed around that first corner. Can he keep the speed up through this corner? Switchback manoeuvre. Watch out, Letrosloth. Chris O'Connor is not making it easy for you. So here we go now, coming towards the end of this first sector, and they are still side by side after so many corners. I did say this would be the fight of Chris's life. The fight of his life it is, but Letrosloth seems to have that move under control now, just holds Chris up on the apex there. Chris O'Connor had to go a little bit wider to try and keep his foot on the accelerator pedal, and that's kind of shown Letrosloth up, because Chris O'Connor's got himself down the inside once more as they come around, but Letrosloth carries a bit more speed there, and does he have the authority to say that is my position? 6th place is mine, and there's nothing you can do about it as a gap opens up. But what a battle that was. Fantastic showmanship and fantastic racing completely. There is a bit more space now between M1 LDT and Pierre Moreno. Of course, the gap between 1st and 2nd is dropping as well. We're almost at the 3-second mark. So that is something that in the next 30 minutes, there is going to be battle. There is going to be people swapping places for first place. A little bit further back, we have a battle for 13th place. Now, it might only be 13th place, but make no mistake about it, this is going to be a very fierce battle. As we're watching Trev Hummer a little bit far behind Suicidal Cookie to chase, but Aaron Fieldelac is with his teammate, Transbaconist, both of them chasing down Trev Hummer, and they are very close on circuit at the moment, and anything could happen here. Automated Luxury does seem to have a bit of a gap before he gets to Pierre Moreno, but there's only 5 seconds. And this is a long race. We have 30 minutes to go here as we're watching the gap shorten between the top 3rd and 4th driver right now. New personal bests coming in all the time now further down the field as we're watching Pierre Moreno just looking for where the opportunity is. He's not showing himself yet. He's not getting into the wing mirrors of M1 LDT, but he is right there. He's either trying to force a mistake or he's looking for where he is faster, looking for where he is slower so that he can improve, and that means he will get a position somewhere. We're seeing a position there. Ian Arnold has now got past Chris O'Connor, who is slowly dropping down through the field, but what a fight he has had this race. He has got to have thoroughly enjoyed this. I know I would have. Next up, Sench. We've seen Sench go around a couple of times so far, but he is making progress. He is making his way up to the sharper end of the field as we're just watching this 3-1 battle. Remember, Chris O'Connor isn't going to take this line down. We saw an almighty battle with Lechersloth, and it was brilliant. Ian Arnold has had it no different, as we've seen Chris O'Connor try and find opportunities down the inside. There wasn't one there, but if there is one, he's going to have it, no doubt. I believe that will be the thing that Chris O'Connor is going to do, but it looks like Ian Arnold has got that. But Sench is the next threat as around goes Ian Arnold. I'm not sure if that was contact, but around goes Ian Arnold. That slowed Chris O'Connor up, and Sench now has an opportunity to get into the draft, build a little pace, and go for the inside manoeuvre once again on Chris O'Connor. Here we go. Down the start-finish straight. Chris O'Connor, full defence, does not want to lose this position. He knows that Sench is right there. They are side by side, no space, bit of wheel banging. That's upset the cars in the braking zone, and that sends Sench all the way down off the racetrack entirely. But he will get back on, one position down, because guess what? Husky has made his way back up into 8th place after the tangle earlier on. So that once again will come together and there will be overtaking opportunities. Pierre Moreno has dropped off M1 LDT just a little bit. The gap between first and second, however, is under 2.5 seconds. So in 3 minutes, half a second has just disappeared from the lead of this race. So it will not be long before we have a battle right there. Now Husky and Sench, after going off the circuit and allowing Husky through, is right there now, and just losing the back end on the brakes a little bit there. It looked like he had to give up a bit of the front end on the grip, just to keep the car pointing sort of straight, very much a sideways braking zone. However, he's still there, hasn't lost any time to Husky, and we see Chris O'Connor make a mistake there, very uncharacteristic of Chris O'Connor, just getting very squiggly again. We've had 20 minutes almost. And through those 20 minutes, let's face it, these tyres have had torture. So whether anyone's struggling to hang on, whether anyone's overheated their tyres, it is anyone's guess. But they will hang on with all their might. The gap for 3rd is closing down once again. Ed Kerstetter seems to have dropped a little bit of time to Jake Potak, whether Jake Potak's chanced it and gone a little harder, I don't know, but we've seen Pierre Moreno putting the pressure on now. M1 LDT is not going to have this easy. Pierre Moreno is there to make sure of that, and now he is attacking. 26 minutes to go. Pierre Moreno wants 3rd place. He's figured out where he's faster. He's figured out where M1 LDT is a little bit slower than him, and he wants to go. It's M1 LDT. You've either got to rise to the challenge, or you've got to defend for all your life right now as Pierre Moreno looks down the inside. That's allowed. M1 LDT says, yep, you can have that inside line, I'll have the drive out of the corner. Automated Luxury just showing himself in the distance there. He could be closing up to these two, which could make it very exciting towards the latter half of this race. As we're seeing the time ahead drop once more, 2.7 from the lead to second place. As we're seeing these two side by side again. M1 LDT is not giving up this place easily. Pierre Moreno will have to do something special to make this work. And he's down the inside once again. That looked a little bit wide from M1 LDT. Didn't quite get it stopped quick enough. And that's allowed Pierre Moreno to get the corner done. But can he make it stick? Can he drive away? Or can M1 LDT get down the inside? Very easy on the brakes there. There's contact. There is contact. Pierre Moreno is turned around. And that does allow M1 LDT to drive away. Automated Luxury gets through. Lecherous Sloth gets through. And that's important. We saw Lecherous Sloth was on pole. Fell right to the back of the grid at the start of the race. And he is up into 5th place now. That is very important. And Pierre Moreno has lost 2 positions and a boatload of time. That is 4 seconds he has lost to M1 LDT, and he will be doing all he can to close that back up. Following Lecherous Sloth is something that you would expect to be within region. But here we go, look at the times on the board. Lecherous Sloth setting under 2-minute 1s, everybody else around the 2-minute 1 mark, which means Automated Luxury, you're under fire now, you're really under fire, as he just tries to hold that inside line as best as he can. Lecherous Sloth not having any of it, while Pierre Moreno is saying, right, you guys can battle all you want, I just want to go. So it is a 3-car battle. 3-car battle for 4th place right now. As we're seeing in the lead, it is currently Automated Luxury. Lecherous Sloth on the outside, Pierre Moreno on the inside. We know that you get good drive on the outside of the corner here. Is it enough for Pierre Moreno to stick it down the inside and get the move done? Has he got the position away from Lecherous Sloth? Lecherous Sloth is on the inside now as they come around the right-hander, but Pierre Moreno still has his nose ahead of Lecherous Sloth. Still has the drive out of the corner. Oh, and there's contact. Both Pierre Moreno and Lecherous Sloth have just made contact and gone around. Does that give Chris O'Connor a chance to get back ahead of them? There is Lecherous Sloth just trying to get going again. Pierre Moreno has lost a place to Chris O'Connor once again, and Sench is right there as well. Now Lecherous Sloth has fallen all the way down into 11th place because he did not get going fast enough. This is going to hurt. He's done all that work and he's got to do it all again now. As we're seeing another spinner on the attack. That's Chris O'Connor. Unfortunately, Chris O'Connor's got around this time. Sench has made a mistake as well and dropped another position, but Suicidal Cookie is all the way up there in 6th place. What an amazing comeback from these drivers. To lose it all again in just a moment, it must be heartbreaking. However, look at where Pierre Moreno is now. He's in 5th place. He was fighting for that 4th place, but he's got 11 seconds to find to get onto the back of Automated Luxury. And Automated Luxury isn't slow. This is not going to be an easy drive, especially when you've got Suicidal Cookie and Sench right behind. And then just behind them you have Yaw and you have Husky. This is going to be a crazy drive for the next 20 minutes. And we have Trev Hummer. Didn't quite get ahead of Lecherous Sloth, but Lecherous Sloth is right ahead there. This could be a drive for a bit of a recovery. Lecherous Sloth might not get 1st place, but then wherever he gets to, it's going to be the drive of his life. Jake Potak, we haven't seen much from him, but the gap is coming down in the distance. Very tiny speck in his mirrors. You can see Ed Kerstetter now. Under 2 seconds, more than 20 minutes on the clock. That's not what Jake Potak wants. He wants to drive away with this, but Ed Kerstetter is bringing this gap down ever so slightly. So, we've seen a little bit of the leader now. We've seen a little bit of 2nd place. We've seen a lot of 3rd and 4th. But where is the battle on track? Where are we seeing the action? That's right. Down here in 17th place, we have a fight. We have Train Boy and we have Kevin Kovac having an almighty scrap down at the back end of the field. These two guys racing for 17th and 18th place, but they are going hard. It does not matter where you are on this field, it still feels great to send it down the inside, and that is exactly what Kovac has done. And these two drivers will continue scrapping for as long as possible, and let's see as much as we can before we have to snap away and grab a little bit of racing further up the field. It's glorious to get the cars at the back having a great scrap, because sometimes you just see some wonderful moves just at the tail end of the field. I think, okay, well, there's not that much to lose, I might as well send it. And sometimes there can be wonderful moves. Both of them get a little bit deep on the brakes there. Both of them made the same mistake at the same time. Of course, not giving anybody an opportunity to capitalise. So here we are, Husky. Husky is under attack from Lecturer Sloth now. Lecturer Sloth gets that move done. I think Husky's allowed that. He doesn't want to make any more contact now. He wants to get his head down towards the end of the race, see if he can follow for as long as he can and make up some places. We did see York very sideways there. York was very sideways coming out of that corner. Lecturer Sloth will have seen that, and he will be thinking, ooh, how are your tyres, mate? Yeah. And York's thinking, okay, well, my tyres are not great now, I've overheated them a bit, and Lecturer Sloth's coming. Panic! I'm sure he's not panicking. But Lecturer Sloth is coming, and York has dropped a little bit of time away from Sench, who is chasing Suicidal Cookie, who is chasing Pierre Moreno. And Moreno now is feeling the heat. He's closed a little bit up towards Automated Luxury, but there's 19 minutes left on the clock, just under, so I don't know whether he's going to make 9 seconds. However, Suicidal Cookie and Sench don't care. They just want that place. They want that place so badly. And Pierre Moreno has got to be feeling that pressure. It will be hot in that helmet. He will be sweating buckets as we're looking at Suicidal Cookie making a little bit more ground there. Very gently on the power, just closing up as he's getting the traction out of the corner. And that is exactly what he wants. As we're looking now, there is nothing to split these cars. Down towards the start-finish straight, you can see the pit lane on the right-hand side here. This is an almighty scrap. Pierre Moreno has been fighting for the top half of the grid all race long, and Suicidal Cookie, after having been there and being kicked out, he wants it back. He wants it back badly, and he's looking at the outside, looking at the switchback as he goes down the inside. Easy fire ahead, a little bit of contact again. Just a bit of wheel banging, nothing untoward. As Suicidal Cookie is up and away. Can he slow down Moreno enough to claim and stamp his authority on that 5th place? It looks like he can, but now Moreno is under attack. But he is attacking at the same time. Suicidal Cookie, it is not over. Moreno is coming back at you as Suicidal Cookie just takes the wide line. We know this can work. Moreno thinks, right, inside line. That is the faster way around the corner, but you have to be able to get the traction down. And Moreno has not done that this time. Cookie still has the inside for the right-hander. And Moreno has nothing to say about that unless he's better on the brakes here. He's down the inside. Can he get the traction out of the corner? Suicidal Cookie says, no, I've got the better drive. But we have another braking zone coming up right now. And right in the back you can see Sench trying to figure out which way he's got to go to get past the both of them. Teammate ahead, of course. He doesn't want to take out Suicidal Cookie. This is immense driving from the two drivers. As we're looking at the gap for the lead, under a second now, we have to keep an eye on that while watching this battle unfold. We have Moreno going down the inside again. Suicidal Cookie is saying, you can have that inside line, I've got the drive. I've got the next inside. A little bit of wheel bang in there. Just upsets Moreno a little bit. That has allowed a bit of space, but it's not enough to drive away. And Sench is now right on the rear wing of Pierre Moreno as they come around once again. 14 laps is what we have completed, and these guys are coming around to start lap number 15. As we see Moreno all the way on the inside of the track, defending as hard as he can. He's ahead of both drivers right now, but both drivers are coming back at him towards the braking zone. Who is the better braker? We're going to find out right now as we see Moreno just gets that job done, but Suicidal Cookie outbrakes his teammate and just hangs it around the outside. He's on the outside now as we're seeing Sench. Sench is getting his elbows out. He wants to make this move on both drivers, really, and he's going to do what it takes, teammate or not. So here we go, Pierre Moreno having an almighty drive. This is a masterclass lesson in how to defend. As we're seeing, a little bit of a touch there, but no harm, no foul. Sench has made the position, so he's gone and leapfrogged his teammate Suicidal Cookie and Pierre Moreno. He's retaken 5th place, and Pierre Moreno, of course, will not leave that alone. He will do all he can to get back at the other driver, as well as that Suicidal Cookie still wants to get ahead. He still wants to get ahead of Sench and try and chase down Automated Luxury, but that gap is opening up once again, so I don't know whether that's going to be a possibility. As we're seeing now, this gap behind is starting to open up between Cookie and Moreno, but Sench is having to defend from Moreno. The gap between 1st and 2nd's opened up by a couple of tenths, but we're expecting that to come down again. M1 LDT has not caught up to 2nd place just yet. The gap between 1st and 2nd over the line was a couple of tenths, so maybe a mistake from Kerstetter, but Kerstetter having an amazing drive, as well as Jake Potak. But this battle seems to have settled down for a little bit now. Maybe the tyres have gone a bit soft and squishy. Maybe they're not providing the same amount of grip they were before, because they have been really pushing the tyres. So that has opened up again. I am sure it will close once again. We will see some more battling. A little bit further down the field, we have Ian Arnold with Trev Hummer and Dat Husky right behind. So these guys having a bit of a battle for 9th place. Of course, rounding out the top 10 is something to be very proud of, but Ian Arnold wants to keep that 9th place, thank you very much. Hummer wants it, Husky wants it. I'm guessing that we will find out which of these drivers is willing to put more on the line to try and get it. So Ian Arnold leads this trio of drivers, as we're seeing Trev trying to go around the outside here, maybe perform a switchback. Ian Arnold just stamping his authority on the apex, as we're seeing Husky not wanting to get too involved. He doesn't want to make contact, he doesn't want to end up off the circuit again. That would be very unfortunate. Lecturer Sloth knows how that is, but he's got himself up into 8th place right now, as we're seeing Hummer once again trying to get aggressive on the exit of these corners, trying to get aggressive in the braking zones, trying to put Ian Arnold under as much pressure as possible. But Ian Arnold just keeping it sensible, keeping it smooth, keeping a cool head around the circuit, and just trying to prevent Trev Hummer from making any move that would of course send Ian Arnold back into the final top 10 position. And that Husky playing a very calm and collected game here, not wanting to upset anybody, not wanting to send his car off the field, just trying to find an opportunity where he can safely make a position, stick it down the inside when your opponent can't do anything else other than let you through. So these guys, the gap does seem to open up and shorten quite rapidly, but that's something you would expect to see as we're seeing a change for the lead. Here we go, Kerstetter, Jake Potak, both of them battling now. We did expect this to come. I expected it to be another lap or two before we saw it, but no, Kerstetter has got himself up into the front. Cheber88, let's see your support. Your driver is up in the lead right now, and now has to do all the defending from Jake Potak, which I am sure will not be easy. As we're seeing, the gap is not increasing. Jake Potak now has the easier job. It is always easier to attack than it is to defend, but I'm sure Ed will be doing all that he can to try and hold this lead as long as possible. With a few tenths in the bag, I'm sure he will not be too hot under the collar yet. Jake Portak has not yet stuck it down the inside or hassled in the braking zone until now. That's a little bit of a show from Jake. Just showing his front wing to Ed Kerstetter, who now has to think about how he can drive away to make sure he takes the victory. Of course, these two guys will be racing very hard and looking into the position as well, because don't forget, it was Lecherous Sloth up in first place with Suicidal Cookie and Sench right up there. We had a few changes in the first laps of the run of the race, and Lecherous Sloth did fall down to the back of the field on lap 1. And there we see another move down the inside from Jake Portak. I wasn't sure whether that was a bit late and whether he was going to go deep there, but no. Position taken. Ed Kerstetter, your move. And yeah, that was a stunning move down in the braking line. Something that I did not expect. Very, very late, but we're going to see more battles to come from these two. This is not over. Not by any stretch of the imagination. We saw Ed Kerstetter close down a lot of time. There was 10 seconds between these two at one point, and the gaps got ever closer and closer and closer. Under 10 minutes to go now. These two will be hammer and tongue for the rest of the race. One of these drivers will be finishing first. One of them will be finishing second. Cheber88 says, loving this. You have no idea. I am loving this so much. To see such driving at the front end of the field from two drivers who did not qualify in the top 3. It is amazing to see. And the professionalism of both drivers, not getting into it, not making contact, not sending the other driver skyward. Fantastic driving. Something to be proud of from both of them, no matter where they finish. But this is going to be a very exciting race indeed, as we're seeing Kerstetter just trying to pile the pressure onto Jake once again. Jake Portak trying to do all he can to stay smooth, get the power down, keep the inside where he can keep the inside. Kerstetter will now have that slipstream once again as we come around the final turn. Come down the pit straight, and we have, as again mentioned, very tight right-hander, very tight left-hander, and then a right-hander once again for these guys to navigate. Kerstetter's going for it. He's got the inside on the brakes. He's ahead, only just. What are they doing on the brakes? Who is the later braker? We saw something amazing from Jake one lap ago. Kerstetter has made this one stick this time around. And across the curbs they come. They're very wide over these curbs. Able to keep the car planted, keep the car stable, without upsetting it, without spinning it out. It can be done. The rest of the field ought to take note from these two, because these two are having a stunning race and have been all race long. We're seeing some other changes further down the field. I will get to those changes when I can, but this is a battle that we cannot look away from. It has taken over 35 minutes to lead to this. We have 7.5 minutes to go before this race comes to its conclusion. The first race of this brand new Formula PAL season. Remember, a car designed specifically for this championship, specifically for this community, and specifically to deliver racing like this. Look at Jake Portak. Jake Portak's trying something different. Very wide on the entry to the braking zone. Ed Kerstetter's gone a little bit wide over the curbs there. That's a mistake. That's what Jake Portak wanted. He wanted the chance to unsettle Ed Kerstetter, do something different, catch him off guard. That is exactly what he has done here. Ed Kerstetter was caught off guard, did make a mistake, and Jake Portak has now reclaimed that first place. He will now be defending for a little longer, as Kerstetter now has all the fighting to do. But again, we come down towards the start-finish straight. It's a very, very long straight, and we've seen the draft work wonders here. These two might be a little bit too far back to be in the draft. 3/10, I don't know how much of an effect it has, but judging by how much Kerstetter is closing up now, I would say it has a very big effect. As we come down to the braking zone once again, Kerstetter down the inside. Is he good enough on the brakes? We know Jake Portak's good, but Jake Portak gives him space, doesn't make contact, and they go around again. Once more, swapping places, fighting for all they can. Now don't forget, when you're fighting for position like this, it does slow you down a bit. They may be under 6 minutes on the clock, but this might give chances for M1 LDT to close up. He's 10 seconds adrift, and if these guys hold themselves up quite a lot, there's a chance for third place to join the battle for first. But we're seeing now Ed Kerstetter just setting the pace, controlling the race where he needs to. Jake Potak has it all to do. Maybe he's going to try and unsettle Ed Kerstetter again, try something different. He's going around the outside here, that is different. Very wide again in the braking zone, trying to find the switchback, but Ed Kerstetter is not having any of it. He's going to get the better drive out of that corner, and down they come into another braking zone. Jake Potak looking for everything he can find to try and change the positions around. Trying around the outside here. I'm not sure he's going to hold that, but it looks like he's got a chance. Ed Kerstetter was very, very sideways last lap around. Jake Potak seems to have got away with it, but doesn't seem to have gotten the drive. As we've seen Jake Potak once again down the inside. Is it good enough? Is it good enough? I'm losing my voice here with these two drivers. Absolutely insane driving from the both of them. Kerstetter now trying to hold. Apologies. Trying to hold Jake Potak up as they go into the final corner, trying to say, no, I'm going to control the pace. I have to keep you behind. However, look at the split. 2/10. That means Jake Potak is in the slipstream. So no matter what Kerstetter does, Jake Potak is going to be able to come down the inside of him on the brakes, because Kerstetter is not defending this position. He's wanting to say to Jake Potak, right, okay, you can have the first corner. I don't care. I'm going to get past you anyway. I love that. That is confidence. That is supreme driving confidence and a great mental state to be in. Jake Potak right around the outside there and makes that stick just for a little bit, because Ed will be having that position back very wide from Potak there. Is he now starting to feel the effects of the pressure? It is a lot of pressure that he is under here. We have a did not finish from Suicidal Cookie. This is really unfortunate. I believe he's disconnected from the server. That is really unfortunate from a driver who was doing so well throughout the majority of the race. However, that's not important right now. What is important is where these two drivers will finish up. This is really, really tight driving. We knew it would be. There does seem to be a bit of a gap opening up between Jake Potak now and Ed Kerstetter, but that will close again, I am sure. Kerstetter has been putting in an almighty drive. Maybe he's just now thinking about the finish. He can't drive away from Jake Potak as Jake Potak locks up. We haven't seen anyone do that all race long. But now Jake Potak, under a little bit of pressure, has locked his front wheel, showing that the tyres are not perfect, showing that there is a chance for Ed Kerstetter to come back and take that position once more. As we're coming around, that gap is shrinking once again. Kerstetter is coming right onto the back of Jake Potak. As we're looking towards the final corner now, Kerstetter trying to stay behind, take the wide line, get a bit more space, and if he can carry some speed, get into that slipstream, he will be down the inside once again. Not this time, says Jake Potak. If you want it, you're going around the outside. And what will Kerstetter do? So Jake Potak has defended. He's done what he needed to do. And Kerstetter has to sit in. He has to sit in for this corner. 2 minutes left. We are looking at a back marker in the distance there. Again, Cheba's drivers, Kerstetter, and of course, Paddy Gamer. Both of them will be on screen together, right there, as we're watching the first of the tail markers being caught, and Paddy Gamer just allows the lead drivers to get through. Ed Kerstetter looking down the inside now. Can he get the power down? Can he open the wheel, get all that power down to the ground? Or will Jake Potak now unwind the car and get back ahead? I'm not sure. This is tight. Both drivers side by side. Ed Kerstetter now is on the outside. We know the outside doesn't work at this part of the track, but around the next corner you can get some serious drive out. If you can open the steering wheel enough. Sideways from Jake Potak. As we're seeing the two drivers, they are not letting up. They are not going to give it up and accept second place. This is great driving from both cars. It is not a three-way battle, it's a two-way battle, but you would not know that these two guys are not at the end of a championship fight fighting for overall victory. This is immense. This is absolutely brilliant going as Kerstetter now has the lead. Less than a minute on the clock. This next lap, Chebber88 says this is amazing. You are not wrong. I think everybody watching us right now can agree that this is really amazing stuff. We haven't been able to catch any of the battles further down. There are gaps everywhere down the field now apart from here. This is where the drama is. Final lap now. They are going to cross the line for the final lap. Jake Potak does seem to be on the back foot. Half a second away now from Kerstetter. Kerstetter has chosen this opportunity to drop the hammer. He has pushed and pushed and pushed Jake Potak to the limit of Jake's tyres, and I'm wondering if Jake has anything left to lean on them to try and bring it back to Kerstetter for one more chance at the lead. M1 LDT did catch up a little bit, but the gap is still 7 seconds, so no chance at all to get amongst these two who have set the bar, really. For the rest of this championship, this is how the driving has to be. Everybody has to know that this is how you race in Formula Pals. And I have been thoroughly impressed. Not the fastest pace by any stretch of the imagination, but equal pace, clean pace, consistent pace, and that is what wins races. And Ed Kerstetter now is coming around this final part of the race to show us that that is what wins races, as Jake Potak goes to show us that why consistency and a lack of it is what costs you positions, as he's gone sideways, he's spun the car around, and now that is going to mean he's got to fight with M1 LDT for second place, as we're just going to get on board with Ed Kerstetter coming around the final part of the circuit. I don't think M1 LDT is going to have enough in the tank to take on Jake Potak. So, Ed Kerstetter, you didn't start in the top 3. You were a long way down the field. There was a lot of drama on that first lap and you kept your nose clean. You got up into the top 5. There were a few more incidents. A lot of other people went off and they put you into a second place position where you had a clean track ahead of you and over 10 seconds to find. And you went down and found those. And with 10 minutes to go, you started swapping places with Jake Potak for an almighty 10 minutes. And this is the result. Congratulations on your first victory in the Formula Pals Portimao Race of the Algarve. Very well done to Ed Kerstetter. Jake Potak does do enough to hold off. M1 LDT comes home in second, with M1 LDT having a sterling race there to bring it back after all the drama. Automated Luxury now coming across the line, holding off Sench to bring home 4th place, with Sench finishing in 5th place. Pierre Moreno in 5th, and Letras showing in 7th for some strange reason, I believe. Yep, that's correct. Ian Arnold comes across the line. He is in 8th place, and he will be very happy with that after all of the drama he's been involved in further down the field. Trev Hummer coming across the line in 9th place now, bringing it home for himself, and Husky is coming across the line to round out the top 10, and Yort right behind, having an almighty battle there with Aaron Biedelac, bringing it home in 12th place. Rob Phillips now up towards the start-finish line. He will be bringing it home in 13th place. Chipper88 says Ed does it again. Hoover 185, Ed is a beast. Chipper88, indeed, you're not wrong. That was a brilliant drive. Chris O'Connor, after having some amazing battles further up the grid, brings it home in 14th place. And Transbaconist brings it home in 15th, with Trainboy 2005 in 16th. Ryo Gaming now coming across the final corner, just picking out the apex and heading towards the exit curb, trying to get the best lap he can to finish this race. Again, this has been great racing all throughout this field. Chris O'Connor would have wanted to finish higher, definitely showed the racecraft, but there we go. Ryo Gaming in 17th, with Kevin Kovac in 18th. Gamer has already crossed the line in 19th, and Spooks in 20th. And that is the top 20, and that is the first race of the Formula Pals. My, what a race. My, what a race. Trevor88 says, but it was so close. Top driving from Jake. It really was. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. That was absolutely fantastic. And I would love to speak to Ed if I can. And I would love to speak to Jake. And one other person I would like to speak to, I would like to speak to Chris O'Connell. Because that was absolutely fantastic driving from Chris O'Connor for a lot of the race. What can I say? What can I say? It's just been absolutely fantastic. That standard of racing I did not expect to see in the first round of a brand new championship with a brand new car. Hats off. Hats off to every single one of the drivers. I know that you've been there supporting them. Cheber88 has been there supporting his drivers all the way through. It was so close up top driving from Jake. You're not wrong, Cheber88. Absolutely. I'm speechless. I haven't seen driving like that in a while. I haven't been involved in driving like that in a while. So yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. And I'm a little out of breath. So while I try and get the drivers into the commentary booth, I will go for a little bit of a break. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Get commentating. I will read them out on the return, and hopefully then we will catch Ed, Jake and Chris for a little bit of a chat. So I will see you in just a second. And welcome back, chat. Welcome back. Hover1185 said, great stream. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. If you know of any way that the stream could be improved, let me know. I'm all ears. I'm open-minded, and yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. Spartan Golf, this is going to be a long night in the storage room. No doubt about it. The first few laps were a bit messy from a lot of the drivers. There was a lot of drama. But hey, what else can you expect when it's a brand new championship, brand new car? This hasn't been done before, so to see racing like we've seen from Chris O'Connor, Letra Sloth, Ed Kerstetter, Jake Potak, most of the drivers, Sench, some fantastic racing, M1 LDT, Automated Luxury. You know, there's a lot of great driving that we've seen today, and we've seen some fantastic moves, some fantastic defending. Been back and forth like mad. Spartan Golf says, I'll take a P9 though. Yeah, to be fair, it was a tough top 10. It was a really tough top 10. And yeah, Spartan Golf, we saw a lot of your battle with Ian Arnold and that Husky. Yeah, we've seen some brilliant racing on stream, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been great to be back in the commentary booth. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I'm hoping that we get some of the drivers over shortly. A few people asking, will the stream go on YouTube? Of course it will. So if you guys want to watch this back in its entirety, because I know that a lot of the people tuned in were racing, it will first go on the Racing Pals YouTube channel, and then a little after that it will go on to the AJR Motorsport channel. There's a link to the AJR Motorsport channel at the bottom. I will hopefully get one for the Racing Pals for the next round, just so that you can see what links you need to follow to get involved with this sort of stuff, because it is brilliant. Spangolf says, looking forward to the VTCC next week, taking AM class for Storm again. Pro-Am, Spangolf, you're in Pro-Am. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be a very interesting series to follow. Again, I'm not competing, not commentating, not doing anything with SimSport Racing at the moment. I am just supporting my drivers to get through that. If you want to find out about it, links in the bottom. We will be posting stuff as we get around to the season opener, which means this week it's going to get busy again. After taking a month off, it's great to be back, and I am sure you are all desperate to see what we've got in store for the rest of the year. If you want to know what's happening for the rest of the year in terms of this championship, because it's a brilliant championship. So the next race is Magny-Cours on the 19th of September. From there we go to Bikaneki on the 3rd of October, and then it will be Tor Poznan, one of my favourites, 17th of October. In these cars, that will be a lot of fun. Then we have the Donington GP variation on the 31st of October. Halloween, do I get dressed up? Chat, do I get dressed up for Halloween? Let me know. Tell me what you think. Tell you what though, if I get to 100 subs before Halloween, I will do a full stream in costume for Halloween. How does that sound? Any takers? Yeah, out there now. Sonoma, 14th of November, and that will round out this championship. And Sonoma's a tricky track. It's a very tricky track. For that to round out this championship, there will be fireworks. If the championship isn't settled by then, you can bet it will be an upset. It's a track that I quite like, actually. Can I have a go? Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed commentating. I don't know whether we have any of the drivers willing to have a chat yet. I'm sure that everybody's a bit sweaty, a bit hot, a bit bothered, so maybe everybody's gone for a drink, gone for a toilet break. It's a very long session. Because don't forget, we did practice, 20 minutes of qualifying, 2-minute break, and then a 45-minute race. So these guys have been driving for about an hour and 5 minutes. You tell me whether you would need a break. But yeah, I'm hoping we can get something from the drivers. If you were watching for the entire race, what was your favourite moment? What was your favourite moment in all of that? For me, it had to be the moment where Jake Potak tried something completely different, went really, really wide into the braking zone to upset Ed Kerstetter, and did just that, and Ed Kerstetter got it wrong on the exit of the next corner. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Jake Potak, but it was definitely a good attempt and a very good driving. Cheber88, thank you very much. Awesome job with the stream. You know, it's thanks to all of you guys that I do these good streams. I've done quite a bit of commentating for a few different series now. I'm getting there with it. I'm still learning new things, still learning how to do that, what I sound like. But really, the support from everybody who's been involved on Twitch, on social media, in the communities that I get involved in, yeah, that's why we're doing this. It means a lot to me, and to be able to do this for you, it is fantastic. It really is. So thank you. Other than that, we had some great driving from almost all of the field. We saw overtakes down 17th, 18th. They were going at it just like the front runners were. We saw the top 10. That was a great fight. Unfortunately, Suicidal Cookie did disappear. Ledger Sloth says no, he's hiding in shame, so he's not coming for a chat. You know, great qualifying. Absolutely great qualifying. Great turn of pace, and quite a number of times he got himself really high into the top 10, only to lose it again. I don't think everything was his fault there. I absolutely don't. So I don't think he's got anything to be ashamed about. But yeah, it just wasn't his day. I'm sure that we'll see more of Lecherous Sloth coming into round 2. We've got a couple of weeks before that's around. But yeah, what's going to happen now? all the fast boys, nowhere to be seen in the top 3. M1 LDT will be very grateful for that. Was just off the pace in qualifying, but still managed to bring it home in 3rd place. Still just waiting for any of the drivers to get into the waiting room so that I can bring them down into the commentary booth. I'm seeing a few of them still having a bit of chat elsewhere. Cheba, if your driver's about, give him a poke. Because yeah, that was a fantastic win from Ed. Shame from Jake Potak as well to have been caught with 10 minutes to go. I'm sure I would have liked to have had a bit more breathing room towards the end of that race. His tyres might have held. I do think it was tyres there. Ed was really pushing Jake, and I don't think Jake quite had the same pace. And when you're pushing your car harder than you can drive it, the tyres do tend to go off quite quick. So I've got a feeling that might have happened to Jake there. And M1 LDT was very, very close to taking that position away after the mistake from Jake on the last lap, which was a bit unfortunate. It was quite unfortunate. It's not what we want to see. But yeah, I've got to thank you all for the follows as well. That's immense. Yeah, another load of follows there. So we're not far away now from the 100. We're not far away from the 100 at all. So I promise, if we get to 100, I'm streaming in costume. 100 followers, I stream in costume for Halloween. Yeah, that was absolutely immense. So plan of attack will be, I will upload this video and send it over to the Racing Pals guys tomorrow night. And then once I've got the video and I've sent it over to Racing Pals, they're going to put it on their YouTube channel first. Once it's on their YouTube channel, I'll let it run for a couple of days, and then it'll be on the AJR Motorsport channel, which you can get a link to down the bottom, by the way. I do want to get a Racing Pals top somewhere, but that might take a while for me to sort out the overlay for that. So that Husky, yes, there will be a YouTube export. There will. I've said that a few times in the stream now, but I know that a lot of you have been driving. Whiskey for President, hello to you, sir. I hope you have had a wonderful day. And yeah, I'm happy to be back. Yes, I saw you racing in fact, we saw quite a lot of you racing, Husky. You will enjoy watching this back indeed. And watch it, whatever platform you want to watch it on, it will be there for you. Thank you. I don't believe my accent is that sexy, but thank you very much. And again, if you want to keep up to date with everything else that AJR Motorsport is doing, there is the YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. We do real car things, we do other racing championships. VTCC is the next thing that AJR Motorsport is involved in. Trev Hummer, Spartan Golf, he'll be competing in the Pro-Am category, and we have another 2 drivers competing in the Pro category with another driver in the clubman. So we've got a lot of work to do between now and next weekend. And then we'll be gearing up once more for another edition of the Formula Pals. I'm not seeing anything from the drivers, but I would really like to have a chat. Is there anybody you guys want to have a chat with? Any racing that you saw that you'd like to hear about? Any questions you want me to ask? Let me know. Get in the comments. Get in the comments. I want to hear from you. Yeah, fantastic racing. So yeah, as I said, that moment from Jake Potak, going really, really wide into the braking zone. Ed Corsa didn't quite know what to do, upset himself on the exit in the next corner. Gave Jake Potak a chance to come back at him, but Kirstead just had some amazing pace there to come back at him. Can I bring Jake into the commentator booth? I can indeed, so here we go then. Good evening, Jake.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well. My throat is suffering a little bit, if I'm honest, after watching that last 10 minutes. Did you expect Ed to catch so quick?
Yeah, no, I did the first practice race at Imola where he was second a lap faster than me, so I knew it was a matter of time, but So I was pretty much preparing, and once I got a second, I was like, all right, time to start hop lapping. Let's look in my mirrors for once.
Well, to be fair, you did catch us a bit unaware, because at 1 minute, Ed had caught up to you for about a second and a half, and then I started following another battle, and then all of a sudden Ed was battling with you toe for toe, and there was still over 10 minutes to go. So it definitely caught me unaware, but what didn't catch me unaware was the racing that followed. I mean, just tell us what you think about the way that you and Ed raced for 10 minutes.
Respectful and hard. With Skip Barber-like cars on an F1 track, drafting. I always do, like, if he gets by me, I'm going to get a chance to get past him again. I get by him, same thing. So it was not like it was going to be one move and then we'd go on. So it's a lot of fun.
It definitely looked that way. I mean, as I've mentioned, my favourite move throughout all of that was where you'd been battling for quite a long time, there were a few minutes left on the clock, and then you tried something different. You went very wide into a braking zone after a hairpin, which seemed to unsettle Ed Kerstetter there. I mean, was that planned? Was that something you had in mind?
Yeah, I noticed he was taking a narrow line, and actually that corner in practice, I mistakenly took a wide line there and noticed that it was giving me a much better braking zone. So I knew, yeah, I felt I could get around the outside and actually hold it, and worked out there.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it definitely unsettled Ed, because on the exit he did make a bit of a mistake allowing you back through. Unfortunately, it didn't last. But really, I expected that to continue going all the way through the final lap, but there was a slight mistake. I mean, what was that down to? Was it just pressure or was it tyres?
Yes, he got by me, and I thought maybe we'd have one more lap. It seemed there was like 5 seconds left when we crossed the line, and I didn't know it would go right to the last lap, and then I had a spin on the last lap. I can't get through one of these races without at least one mistake. Like Imola, I thought I drove perfectly for my standards, and 5 minutes ago I had a self-spin exact same way, so gotta think about that next time.
Well, at least I know I'm not alone there, but no, thank you for that, Jake, and very well done, and I'm hoping that there's more of that to come. Other than that, we've got Ed with us at the moment. Ed, congratulations to start with. It's definitely not where you qualified. Were you expecting to be fighting for the lead?
First, kind of. It would have. I didn't do anything on full fuel, so I didn't know how the car was going to react. So I was hoping I could just kind of stay with, the front pack until I was able to learn the line through a couple more corners. But I made some contact with Suicidal Cookie on the first lap. I have to apologize to him. We kind of were fighting for the same real estate on the apex, and that sort of split everybody up and took out a couple good cars. So apologies to him and anybody else who got caught up in that.
To be fair, I mean, with it being a brand new championship in brand new cars, that no one's gone this hard in these cars for points before, so we were bound to see some mistakes, but we didn't seem to see any mistakes from you. And I mean, it looked like we weren't going to see a mistake at all from Jake until the final lap. So just tell us, how did you prepare to go through 45 minutes in these cars for points without mistake?
I definitely made a couple mistakes here and there. It was really good racing with Jake. This track's a lot of fun. There's a lot of opportunity for crossovers and switchbacks, just because, like Jake was saying, Skip Barber cars basically on Formula One tracks, right? It's all about corner exit speed, and then trying to compromise the person's entry so that their exit's compromised, and it's kind of really cool how it plays out. So I was just trying to get a rhythm there in the middle of the race, trying to chase Jake down, and then once I caught him, I know he had a little pedal issue in the middle of the race, so that allowed me to get by him. But then it was just trying to kind of surprise the other guy, take a completely different line, try to make him look in the mirrors to see where you're at, and then get a run down the next straight. So it was a lot of fun on these cars are a lot of fun on this track.
It definitely looked like it, and there's a lot of draft as well, so that's going to be something to watch out for the rest of the season. But something I did seem to notice on the brakes and on the power was that the tyres weren't as grippy as Formula 1 tyres, let's just say. There was a lot of sliding going on from both sides of the car. So question for both of you, we'll go for Ed first. How worn out were the tyres at the end of the race?
Crew chief said I have a lot of tire wear. The bar felt, the green bar in HUD looked okay, but it definitely felt, you could definitely sense a little more wheel spin on exit. When you're really trying to smash down the pedal to get a run on the guy. So there was definitely some decent tire wear. It felt like.
Yeah, I thought my tires were shot personally. I'll attribute that to me spinning out as well. But I think if the first 20 minutes of the race, if you don't spend the whole time sliding, that'll be something to think about next time.
Well, we're very much looking forward to that. So thank you for joining me, the both of you. And I will let you go and cool down because I'm sure that you're quite warm under the collar now. But thank you for racing. Very well done to the both of you. We'll look forward to seeing you next time out.
Thank you, Alex.
Good, thanks.
Well, chat, there you have it. Whiskey for President says, I'm new to sim racing, just set up content manager. This is fantastic to hear. Get yourself used to it, join a community and get involved in some organised racing. The public lobbies are great for finding your feet, getting to pace, learning the space around the car, but communities like this is where the real racing is. So we hope you get involved in some more of it. We hope to see you watching some more of it as well, because it is absolutely fantastic, especially when you've got racing like we've had from Ed and Jake and Chris O'Connor as well. I don't think Chris wants to join us, to be honest. After racing as hard as he's had all night, he had some fantastic battles, some fantastic defending, some fantastic overtaking. It's been immense. It really has. But yeah, if you're all here, next time we will see you in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let's throw up some signs. And we'll see you all then. But for now, it's been a good, fantastic first round from Portimao for the Formula Pals. You will catch this on YouTube within the next few days on Racing Pals, and then within the next week for AJR Motorsport. So thank you all very much for being with us tonight. I'm going to go catch my breath, make sure my voice isn't gone. So thank you, and we'll see you again. Cheers, guys.